Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a set of communication skills that can literally transform your family life, and it's all based on the game-changing book, How to Talk So Kids Will Listen.
So, where do we even begin? Well, let's start by looking at the core issue, a situation I think almost every parent knows, the dreaded communication breakdown.
You know the feeling, right? We try so hard to be helpful, to guide them, to teach them, but somewhere between our mouths and their ears, everything just gets lost, and it leads to this cycle of conflict that can feel absolutely impossible to break.
The book kicks off with this scenario, and it's a gut punch for a reason. It puts us right in the shoes of a child. It forces us to feel what it's like to be on the receiving end of that kind of belittling language. Language that, let's be honest, we might use with our own kids when we're stressed. And this really highlights how our go-to responses, the commands, the warnings, the lectures, can totally backfire. Instead of helping, they can make a child feel helpless, or resentful, or even worthless. The crazy thing is, these tactics actually shut down the very cooperation we're so desperately trying to build. Okay, so what's the alternative? The big shift, the foundational skill, is actually surprisingly simple, but it is profound. You have to start by accepting and acknowledging their feelings, whatever they are, no judgment.
Okay, so listen to this story. We've got a situation that feels completely impossible, something many parents can relate to on some level. A child who is just lost in these huge, overwhelming emotions, and nothing is working.
Wow. I mean, this is such a powerful example of what happens when you just name the emotion. The mom didn't try to fix it, she didn't judge it, and that connection, that beautiful "I love you," it only happened after his intense feelings were seen and validated.
All right, here's another amazing tool for your toolkit. It's called granting in fantasy. It sounds a little weird, I know, but stick with me because it works like magic. You basically give them what they want in their imagination. See, this shows us something so important. Being heard, being truly understood, can be just as satisfying for a child as getting the actual thing. It's not really about the toy. It's about the parent showing, I see you, I hear what you want, and your wishes matter to me.
Okay, let's build on that and move to the next level. How do we get help with all the everyday stuff, the chores, the responsibilities, without the constant nagging and fights? We almost always default to what the book calls the old way, commands, threats, accusations. The new way is all about inviting cooperation by being less confrontational and way more respectful of your child's intelligence.
Now, each one of these skills works for the same reason. It states the problem without attacking the child's character. So whether you just describe the situation, there's a wet towel on my bed, or you just say one simple word, towel, you're giving them the mental space to figure out the solution themselves. And that is so much more empowering than just being told what to do.
Okay, you have got to hear this real-world example. This mom was at her breaking point, and instead of yelling, she wrote a note, and then she wore it around her neck. It was creative, it wasn't confrontational, and it showed them exactly how she was feeling and what needed to happen. And what was the result? They willingly cooperated. No battle required. It's brilliant.
This new way of communicating also completely transforms discipline. It means moving away from two of our most common and maybe overrated tools, punishment and praise.
Think about it. Instead of teaching a lesson about their actions, punishment often just teaches a kid to be more careful so they don't get caught next time. It shifts their focus from what I did was wrong to what was done to me was unfair.
So what's a better way? Treat the child like a partner in fixing the problem. The process starts, again, by acknowledging their feelings, just like we talked about. But then you move into brainstorming solutions together. The key here is inviting them to help find a solution with you. It creates this amazing sense of teamwork.
Now let's flip to the other side of that coin. Praise. Our typical, "you're a good boy," or "you're so smart." That's what's called evaluative praise. But there's an alternative, descriptive praise, that is so much more powerful for building genuine self-esteem.
The skill here is to basically act like a mirror. You just describe exactly what you see, the effort, the specifics of what they did, so that the child can see their own strengths and then draw their own positive conclusions about who they are.
Did you catch what he did there? He didn't just say, "You're such a good girl." He described her specific actions, piece by piece. And then he gave her this powerful word, self-reliance, to define herself with. She gets to own that victory completely. So, What happens when all these skills, acknowledging feelings, engaging cooperation, using descriptive praise, what happens when they all come together? Well, you create an entirely new emotional environment in your home. It's like learning a new language.
And you know, the ultimate goal here isn't just about getting better behavior in the moment. It's about nurturing a child's autonomy and building a positive, resilient self-image that they can carry with them for the rest of their lives.
And that, at the end of the day, is really the heart of it all. This isn't about using tricks or manipulating your kids. It's about creating a home where everyone feels good about who they are, building relationships on a real foundation of mutual respect.
Every single interaction, every word you say, it offers your child a picture of who they are, a little snapshot. And this whole approach is about making sure that the picture you're giving them is one they can grow into with confidence, with capability, and with strength.